everyone, welcome. All right, look, today we're going to talk about something that you just can't overlook. It may not be super exciting to you as a new player or even as a guy who's been playing a while but doesn't know how to take care of his stuff, but the fact is, if you do not take care of your stuff, you will not play well. It's just the facts of life. You know what I'm saying? If you let your stuff go down, then your playing is going to suffer. So what we're going to do is make some quick, short videos on basic guitar maintenance. And to do that, all right, not as if I do my own here, I've had to call a local guitar guru over here, Mr. Luthier himself, Mr. Sean Moore. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sean, quickly, let's just discuss basic 101 string changing for anyone who's interested. And to do so, I have got Sean a tetanus field Telecaster with strings nice and corroded and disgusting, and he's going to take it away.
Okay. First thing you want to do is just assess what we've got and what we're working with. So we got a telly here. So we got the string through body. So the first thing you want to do is take the strings off. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. A couple of things that you would need to do this is, obviously you can do this by hand, but these certainly make it easier. They also got the ones that you can put with a drill, and they make it a little bit faster. Actually have something like this. It's got the end puller, the cutter, the nipper, and also the string changer.
There you go.
I usually use that on the fly.
And a word of advice to anybody who's not used to doing this, I still do this. When I change strings, hit the note one time and just listen to it go down to make sure you're not tightening. You should be able to feel it, but you'd be surprised how many times I've actually like almost knocked my eye out.
I've done that before too.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
All right, so now we've got our strings off. How are we going to dispose of these, Sean?
So what I like to do is just hold the strings together and just leave enough there where I can push it through. Sometimes they get a little testy.
You can get them all at one time?
Normally when I'm at home and my bench, I have something to get them all at one time, but this is...
You got a Rambo cutter at home?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. All right.
And just be careful when they will cut you, so
yeah.
Always loop them through.
And make sure you don't leave loose pieces laying in the floor because they'll catch your toes. All right.
Flip it around, pull these out.
Pull them out of the back there.
Pull them out of the back.
Perfect.
And then we put the new strings on.
So now your strings are ready to go on? Excellent. Sean, is there a trick to this, or do we just start winding away? How does this work?
So the first thing you want to do, what I do is, especially on a string through body, is I'll take each string and string it through. This is obviously the low E. And what I like to do, believe it or not, some strings come out of pack and they're not any good. So I
really?
These are Ernie balls. I've never had a problem with Ernie balls. I've had other brands that I have right out of the box. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't put that on guitar, but this one looks good.
Okay.
So I'll take it.
And you go ahead and string all of them through at the same time?
I string them all through the same.
All right.
That way I don't have to, I kind of look at it as saving time because you're trying to do this fast. It's all about production.
Okay, so our strings are through now, and we're gonna, I guess, go one at of course we're gonna go one at a time. Right, so what's the proper way for us to tackle this bad boy?
So what I typically do, start with the low E, and one thing that you have to have is a ruler. You can do this if you don't have a ruler. I typically go like 1.5 over the next string, but on the low E it's going to be roughly 2 inches.
Okay.
And then we will cut it.
And if it's a strap, you just feed it through and let the...
Yeah, if it's a top wrap, yeah, absolutely. So what I do is I go about 1/4 inch, and then I bend, and then I wrap, the first wrap goes over the top of the string. And again, this depends on what kind of machines you got, what kind of tuners you got, and then the rest of them in this example would go underneath it.
And you want to make sure that you hit the note to know that you're not way overshooting when you're tightening. So you want to stop when it's relatively low.
Absolutely. And so every string up, I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch over 2 inches. So now I'm 2 1/8.
All right. So we're gonna do this same process for the next 5 strings. So we're back now, we've got our strings on, and where do we go from here?
So now we want to just tune the pitch, and then we're going to stretch the strings. I think that's probably one of the most important things you do when you change strings. Tuners, just a quick tip, I really prefer a strobe tuner. Peterson, I think they make the best. At my shop I have a desktop one, but the phone app is $10. It's great. Or Snark. You know, Snark's $15. You can't beat those. So
yeah,
you just tune it to pitch.
All right. So now we've got it in tune. Relatively.
Relatively. So now we got it in tune. And when you're tuning a guitar, you always want to tune up the note. You don't want to tune back. So if you go too far, detune it and go up the note. You don't ever want to go back. So now we're going to stretch the strings. And the way I do that is I go down the beginning of the neck and I just massage the strings. And I usually do this 3 or 4 times just to stretch them out.
And you're just kind of pulling on it?
Just pulling on it.
Are you pulling?
So I'm taking my thumb and my first 4 fingers and gripping it and just pushing the thumb.
Pushing it out away from it?
Pushing it out away from it, yeah, just to get that good stretch on it, and I'm holding it down.
And you're holding it here so it doesn't yank toward in the bridge down there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it just gives you a little control over it.
And that saves you a lot of heartache from thinking that something's wrong with your guitar. When nothing's wrong with your guitar, your strings just haven't been stretched out properly. And I promise you, like, you get up on stage with a brand new pair of strings that hadn't been stretched, you get booed. It's a real thing.
And I've found a lot of people like elixirs. They seem to, I have to probably do twice as much stretching on those, or I'll be retuning again once I'm playing. But yeah, these will stretch right away.
You know, on electric, man, I have been a sucker for some Ernie Ball Slinkies as long as I can remember.
I think they're the best.
I love them. That's all I've ever used.
They're just so consistent.
Ernie Ball, if you're watching, little plug there.
All right, so then we see how far it came out.
That was a step and a half down. All right, so there you have it, a perfectly well-strung guitar. Now, give or take, you know, a little bit of time. About how long should you expect for this entire process to take?
5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah, and it's good for you. It makes you feel like you're playing a much cleaner. It makes me play better. And I don't notice it because usually if I'm out gigging so much, it's like I ain't got time to change strings unless I break something, and then when I break something, I just grab another one off the wall and go to the next gig. And then I finally realize, man, these things are just dead.
Yeah.
And then you end up playing to your tone, so I end up going, it's funny, every time my strings get changed, I go back to my amps and I realize I have to take the highs back down a little bit. All right, cool. Excellent. So this is your string change. Sean, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll be back with you shortly for another demonstration of guitar maintenance. See you then. Hey y'all, thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. See you next time.